Hello again, Gills fans, and welcome back to our match preview for this week. Myself and Boz are looking ahead to FA Cup game. Leyton Orient struggling in the National League. Back-to-back relegations over the last couple of seasons. Obviously their problems have been very well documented. Hopefully, in terms of off the field, they're back on the straight and narrow, so to speak.
Well run at the moment, don't they?
But yeah, they've had it horrendously, their fans, and obviously we can go down the route of slagging off our chairman, Mr. Scully, etc., etc. But there's plenty of other sides and supporters out there that have had it a lot worse than us over the few years, and Leyton Orient at the tip of the iceberg. So, but it's good. Be good to have a decent cup run. Medway Messenger, Jake Hessenthaler says the same. Thursday's edition. Hess wants a cup highlight. I don't think we've got past the first round for about 4 or 5 years, have we? Hesse says in the paper that he's not really had much to shout about. He scored once last year in the replay.
Yeah, I think he
we went
played
into
in
Brackley.
both games. I think the last couple of years.
If that's his highlight, then obviously you know it's a bit of slim pickings. Jake Hessenthaler and the Gills are determined to find some happiness in the FA Cup this weekend. It's been a torrid few years for Gillingham in the national competition, exiting at the first round stage in the last 4 years, twice to non-league Brackley Town. So Saturday we're probably going to be favourites again. As we've already said, Leyton Orient are struggling. Doesn't tend to mean too much when we're involved.
No.
We went to the home game last year, didn't get Brackley, and we were 2-0 down inside 15 minutes, and we were absolutely shocking. Who scored? I think Frank Noble scored.
I think Jet set both up, because Jet had a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, and then decided to sit down again, and then we obviously went out in the replay in the away game 4-3 after extra time. Hesse speaks briefly about 150th appearance came up last time out, which is really good. He's only, what, 23, still 24, so it's a really good effort to get that many appearances for the first team.
He didn't break in till quite late, did he?
No, and obviously I think
he was
that first season,
20, wasn't he, when he first broke in? He wasn't a teenager, I don't think.
But obviously in that first season scored that wonder goal against Coventry.
Yeah.
But wasn't even in the side beginning of the season under Adrian Pennant. But he's got himself back in. I think he's been really good the last few weeks. So a bit more on the back page. Easy-going approach, the key to improved form. Steve Lovell believes the fun factor has been a key ingredient for Gillingham's upturn in form. The caretaker manager oozes positivity, and that's been rubbing off on the players. 7 points from 4 games in League One. Lovell's in charge of the FA Cup first round match against Leyton Orient on Saturday, and he said, if I enjoy it, then the players enjoying it. It rubs off on people. The boys are decent, they're good on the ball, and they're enjoying it. Goes on to talk about him doing his chances no harm again, so we're not going to go through that too much. Youth team, more cup competition. They went out unfortunately after extra time on Tuesday at the Priestfield to Portsmouth after taking the lead. Had a player sent off as well, I think, Gilles late on. One returning hero who'll be watching from the stands, won't be playing, is Charlie Lee, 2012-13 league title winning player. Very good for us when he was there. Talks a little bit about...
At one point, I think he was transferred and he come back and he got player of the month at one point.
Yeah, he joined at the same time as Mr. Chris Welkdale, didn't he? Yeah, they both come from Peterborough, yeah. But he's out long term with a knee injury, unfortunately. It says in this piece that he's hoping to get back playing before the end of the season, but he thinks that they can give us a game. They probably, it's cup and it, so anything can happen. So form tends to go out the window like with derby games, but it'd be good if Charlie can. He says it'd be great if he gets a decent reception. I can't see why not. He didn't leave under a cloud, so. But interesting, he talks about one player of ours, Connor Ogilvie. He says, Spurs loanee Connor Ogilvie is one player he has big hopes for. The pair were together at Stevenage last season. I played with Connor last year, said Lee. I'm a massive fan and I think he has a massive future ahead of him, but he's still relatively young. It would be good to see a lot of people. Also talks about Graham Wesley. Cannot speak highly enough of him. Charlie Lee joined Stevenage from Gillingham in 2014, and it was Graham Wesley who signed him, the man who has been backed by many to take over as the next permanent manager at Priestfield. Wesley might not be for everyone, but Lee enjoyed his time working under the 49-year-old. He gets results and I can't speak highly of him. More highly of him, sorry. People weren't sure how I'd go working under him, and I even wasn't sure, but I did really well and probably had one of my best seasons in a long time. The season I had under him, we overperformed. He doesn't always do things that other managers will, but one thing you can guarantee is that the fans will appreciate the things he does. In a game of opinions, isn't it, football? So it's not for us, I don't think, and it's not for plenty of Gillingham fans. But again, if he comes in and gets results, then no one will complain. But for me, it's a big risk. and it's another name and another change of ideas when we have picked up recently. Just little bits in brief really, then that's pretty much it. It's going to be quite a short one tonight. Nolan Bow and Bradley Stevenson are both back at the club. I would expect them to, if they don't feature Saturday, they'll probably feature Tuesday against Reading under-21s in the Checker Trade. Got smashed in the week in a behind closed doors friendly at Southend. We had a few playing, didn't we? Come back from injury. I think Nels played, Luke O'Neill, Mark Byrne and Conor Wilkinson got another 2 goals. But I think Steve Lovell said in his press conference today on Twitter that there won't be loads of changes. So pretty much what you said on Monday.
Squad, have we, so.
No, and like you said, Monday, you think the thing is we want to go further in this competition hopefully because it could be a money spinner. So you probably go strong Saturday and then you play your kids on Tuesday night when we're already through. Yeah, so be interesting if he makes a couple of changes. He did say that unfortunately Bradley Garmston won't be available. He's got about a week out. It looks like he's tweaked a hamstring, so we just expect.
It does seem as if they're taking precautions with him, like
they're being very, very careful, which they've got to do. So because we don't want him breaking down long term again. Saturday's game, Golden Road and Brian Moore stands are closed for home fans, so we'll be in the Raynham, Endell and Medway, and they're putting away fans in Golden Road. £15 for adults, 10 concessions and £5 for under 12s, and then Tuesday night, £7 for adults and £5 for concessions under 12s, getting free with adults. So 3 home games on the bounce. And looking at the November fixtures, we go Orient Saturday, Reading at home Tuesday, Bury at home next Saturday, 3 very winnable ones. Then we have 2 away trips to Walsall and Blackpool, and then we finish the month at home at Oldham. That could be huge, depending on.
This could be an important month.
We could either be right back in the mire if it goes horribly wrong, or if we can put a run together, we could suddenly be thinking, oh, hang about, we're actually doing okay here. So, but obviously, let's take it one step at a time.
Very sacked Lee Clark, don't know, this week.
Yes, so who's favourite there? Is it Ryan Lowe?
Yeah, Ryan Lowe and Nigel Adkins, I think.
Yeah, there's a few names. Wesley's obviously in the market as well, because he will be.
Feel free to take him, Barry fans.
Exactly, yeah, you can have him. No drama at all. We won't be disappointed. The last little bit was a little bit off the pitch. Was Mark Byrne claimed bragging rights for Gillingham's golf day in the week. So the boys were out bonding, having a good time, which is good to see. Been another quiet week. The court case has started, hasn't it? I think this centre plate thing we've not really seen.
It goes on to tomorrow.
But they've not really sort of published or divulged any sort of details, which is fine. It's not something we really need to be reading about. Once the result comes out, then we'll have a look. But we don't need to be, getting updates and commentaries from the courthouse. There's nothing that we need to know about as long as it gets sorted. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, we might get an announcement one way or the other and find out who the manager is going onwards. But for me, for you, I think as well, we're happy with Steve Lovell and what he's doing now. Again, it's another week. You'd think if he wins 2 out of 3 home games, he's got to be nailed on. But we said that before Northampton and it didn't work out. And then he went and responded at.
And there's been no comment from the club saying no decision's closed. So yeah, this could go on till Christmas. Could go on beyond that.
At the end of the day, so we don't know. In terms of Saturday prediction. You just said something off me off air.
I'll keep predicting losses in the winning, so I'll go tongue in cheek a 1-0 loss.
So I said 1-1 at Rotherham. I was quite positive. I am going to say if we're at near full strength and we play as well as we did last week, I think we'll win the game. I'm going to go 3-1 Gillingham, same as last week. So obviously if we make loads of changes it could be a slightly tighter game, but Lovell seems to be saying that it's going to be as close to full strength as possible. We might see 1 or 2 changes, but so I'm going to go 3-1 and Boz is going for a 1-0 defeat and hoping that the reverse psychology works again. Pretty much it from us. We're going to watch the end of the Lyon-Everton thriller, I think, and then go and lose at darts, no doubt. Thanks for watching as always. We've now gone past 550 on YouTube and Facebook, which is brilliant. So that's 1,100 followers over them 2 platforms, which is great. So thank you very much. We will see you Saturday at the ground for Matchday Live. And until next time, up the Gills.